Hello, welcome. This is a video on how to find missing sides using trigonometry, and this video is at the highly proficient level in preparation for our Unit 10 test. This particular question says, given a right triangle with a side of b, lowercase b equals 14 inches, with an angle of capital B equals 38 degrees, find side C. Now, unless you're told otherwise, we're going to assume then that little c is the hypotenuse, big C is the 90-degree angle. So when you're drawing your triangle, keep that in mind. So I'm going to draw just a random right triangle without any attempt to try to draw it to scale. There's my right angle. And you can call B whatever you want. I'm going to go ahead and just call this B. And this then is 14 inches because opposite big B is little b. And big B is 38 degrees. So there's my 38 degrees. And it says find side lowercase c. Once again, that means this is uppercase C. That's the point. The angle C is 90 degrees, which means that this is our lowercase c. That's what we're looking for. And since just to be thorough, this could be big A and this could be little a, but we're not concerned with little a. So I'm just I'll leave that big A up there, but I want to label these two sides, this one and that one, because that's the one I want. C is the one I want to know, and 14 is the one that I already know. And so I'm not going to label more than that. This, if I point to the other side, is the opposite leg. And this, opposite the right angle, is the hypotenuse. And so now that I've got that, I can go back to my mnemonic and say, okay, I've got so, ka, doa. And keep in mind that since I have, I've got my H from my hypotenuse, and I've got my O from the opposite, O and H, and that would be O, so, and that means that the sine is the equation I'm going to use. The sine of 38 degrees is equal to the opposite, which in this case is 14, over the hypotenuse, which is C. And once again, I see that is the variables down in the denominator, and I don't want it to be down there. So I'm going to multiply both sides by C. That's going to cancel the C's on the right, and it's going to leave me with C times the sine of 38 degrees. This little multiply sign is not necessary, but if it helps you to think that that's what it is, whether I have it, like I didn't put it up above, or I do have it, it still is multiplication, either way. And that's equal to 14. Now I want to get my C alone. This is being multiplied by the sine of 38, so I'm going to divide both sides by the sine of 38 degrees. Sine of 38 degrees. And once again, here I see that these are going to cancel. And what I'm left with then is C, and is going to be approximately equal to some value. This is what I put in the calculator. 14 divided by sine 38. So I take 14, divide by sine of 38, and I say degrees, but that's only true if your calculator is set to degrees. And so I see that the degree is there, and if you got the newer calculators, you can see that at the top of your screen. But in the older calculators, it doesn't say anything there at the top of the screen. So you'll have to hit mode. I see that degree is highlighted, and so I know that it's in degrees. Second mode for quit to take us back here. And I'm going to hit enter and see I get 22.73, but the 9 next to it means that it's 7.4, so it's 22.74. 22.74 degrees. Not degrees, sorry. This is a side length. So, and in this case, it does say inches, so I want to include that this is inches. 22.74 inches. Keep in mind, if you're looking for an angle and it comes out to be 35, make sure you write that 35 degrees. But if you're looking for a side length and you know it's 35 miles, make sure that you write that you know that it's miles. And especially with the angle, always make sure you write that degree. That way you know, and you can keep straight in your brain that you're looking at one versus the other. Okay, en español. Aquí dice, given a right triangle, dado un triángulo rectángulo, with side of B, con un lado de B minúscula, igual a 14 inches, 14 inches, 14 pulgadas, with an angle, con un ángulo of B equals 38 degrees, con un ángulo de B igual a 38 grados, find side C, encuentra el lado C. Y no tenemos un triángulo, yo lo dibujé. Entonces con ese triángulo, yo hice primero solo un triángulo así normal, pero con un énfasis de que fuera un ángulo rectángulo, que tiene este ángulo. Y normalmente, a menos que te diga de otra manera, C mayúscula es donde ponemos el ángulo recto de 90 grados. Y eso lo que pone es que C minúscula es la hipotenusa, el lado opuesto de ese ángulo. Entonces eso lo pongo ahí y dice, yo decidí poner B aquí, pero podría haberlo cambiado y podría haber puesto B aquí y entonces A aquí, no importa. Yo estoy decidiendo cómo ponerlo. Entonces yo lo decidí poner B aquí y eso significa que B minúscula es opuesto de B mayúscula. Entonces supe que hay que poner 14 ahí frente al otro B, opuesto de ese B mayúscula. Entonces también hay que poner de que ese es el opuesto y esta es la hipotenusa. Y sabiendo que tengo H y O, yo sé que tengo que usar ese SO, que es el sin. Entonces yo escribo que yo tengo el sin de 38 grados, es igual que el opuesto, que es 14, sobre la hipotenusa, que es C. Otra vez aquí veo de que tengo la variable abajo y no quiero que esté abajo. Tengo que sacarlo del denominador. Si está dividiendo entre C, lo opuesto de dividir entre C es multiplicar por C. Y eso lo elimina. Y lo que me deja es, lo que me deja es C por el sin de 38 grados es igual a 14. Para despejar C, si está multiplicando, hay que dividir entre el sin de 38 grados. En ambos lados, sin de 38 grados. Y eso, otra vez, elimina esta parte. Y deja que C es igual a esto. Y eso lo pongo en la calculadora, 14 entre sin de 38. Y salió de que tengo 22.73, pero el 9 a sus costados se redondea para arriba a 7.4. 22.74. Y dice en el problema original de que este inches es pulgadas, hay que poner eso también en la respuesta. Si tiene las unidades, hay que incluir las unidades. Y en este caso las unidades son inches. La abreviatura de inches es in. Entonces es 22.74 inches o 22.74 inches, pulgadas en español. Bueno, si se puede, adelante. Sigue trabajando duro.